Hi, this is Nate McLeod, former outfielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates and now of the Atlanta Braves, and you're watching This Week in Real Pirate Ball with Greg Mercer. Is that good? Alright. Well, now where's my University of Michigan sweatshirt you promised me?
It's This Week in Real Pirate Ball, documenting the 2010 Pittsburgh Pirates baseball season. And here's your host, Greg Mercer.
What's up, everybody? It's Mercer again with week number 8 of This Week in Real Pirate Ball. I've got 8 things to talk about and not a lot of time to do it, so let's go ahead and get into it right now. If you watch every game like I do, you'll know that there wasn't a whole lot to be excited about this week. But if you're into the whole late-game heroics aspect of the game, well, Ryan Doumann's been your man so far this year. He has 5 home runs so far, and all of them have been in the 8th inning or later. 4 of those home runs have either tied the game or given the Pirates the lead. In 38 at-bats when the game has been tied, he has a .447 batting average and a 1.339 OPS. He ranks 10th in the NL as win probability added, which is a metric used to determine the added probability of an average team winning with a certain player in the lineup. Results like this could be appealing to a contending team looking for a catcher at the trading deadline, so there's a good chance it'll garner some interest. Sure, these are extremely selective stats that are based on a ridiculously unsustainable batting average and balls in play, but come on, this is the Pirates. It's kind of hard to find anything positive about this team. Now it's time to talk about everyone's favorite whipping boy, Charlie Brown.
You never do anything right. You never put anything in its place. No wonder everyone calls you Failure Face.
Oh, I mean Charlie Morton. After his start on Thursday, Morton solidified himself as the absolute worst pitcher in all of Major League Baseball, compiling a 1-9 record with a .935 ERA and a .189 whip. He was involved in a closed-door meeting with manager John Russell after the game. Strangely, after the meeting, Russell told reporters that Morton would remain in the starting rotation, but he wanted to let people know that he has had some shoulder fatigue and that would even be reevaluated.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
This immediately tripped my BS detector, as I assumed Morton would be put on the disabled list, or as I call it, the fake injury list. Sure enough, the next day he was placed on the DL. The Pirates are unbelievably predictable in their futile attempts to save face. By saying Morton had an injury, it somehow justifies his terrible pitching and gives them a chance to send him to low A ball to make him feel better about himself. And it makes the Pirates look like they didn't make a mistake. It may look legit to some casual fans, but not this guy. Pirates fans got to see one piece of the future this week as Neil Walker was called up. Sadly, it came at the expense of Steve Pearce, who was injured trying to field yet another terrible throw from Delwyn Young at third base. Walker's picked up right where he left off at AAA, going 7 for 24 with 4 doubles. He hasn't looked all that bad out in the field either, whether it be at second or third base. He's light years better than Aki Iwamura at this point, and there's no reason to think that he won't stay somewhere in the starting lineup for the foreseeable future. That is, if they can figure out some way to keep him on the 25-man roster. Let's talk a little bit about the Pirates' batting lineup once again. So far this year, the Pirates' offense has scored 3.28 runs per game. It doesn't help when 2 of your starters are hitting below 200 and the team's hitting 239 as a whole. So I decided to do a little tinkering with Lloyd McClendon's lineup optimizing computer this morning.
The new Tandy 1000, complete with DeskMate software for easy-to-use word processing, filing, worksheets, scheduling, communication.
Barring injuries, this is the lineup the Pirates should be using. Of course, you have to remember a few things. Some of the players have not had enough at-bats to warrant the numbers used. Plus, you know, Steve Pearce is never going to lead off, and Garrett Jones is never going to hit 7th. This also has the pitcher hitting 8th, which I still think is useless. But in the world of cold hard stats, this lineup would theoretically produce 4.77 runs per game, which is 1.5 runs more than they're currently scoring. Obviously in real life you wouldn't make up a lineup like this, but basically getting Iwamura and Clement out of there does wonders for almost any lineup. We're almost into June, so it's time to start talking about some AAA call-ups for the Pirates. Sadly, Neil Huntington indicated on Sunday that Jose Tabata, Brad Lincoln, nor Pedro Alvarez are imminent in terms of being called up to Pittsburgh. I can understand Alvarez because he's striking out a lot and has a low batting average, but there's no reason why Jose Tabata should be left in AAA. He's batting .316 with 20 steals and is head and shoulders above Lassing's Millage in terms of hitting, speed, and defense.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Brad Lincoln appears ready for the jump to the bigs too. He's 5-2 with a 3.47 ERA and 1.01 WHIP so far. For as bad as the Pirates are right now, you'd think they'd try to bring up some of these guys as soon as their Super 2 arbitration eligible date passes. But from Huntington's statements, it looks like he's willing to wait until after the July trading deadline so that the Pirates can trade away players like Dotel, Donnelly, Domit, Duke, and anyone else of value and make room for the younger players. I don't like this decision, but what do I know? I'm just a Pirates fan. Let's briefly look at the 4-game series with the Reds. I'm not gonna lie, I passed out watching 3 of these games because they were pretty boring. The Pirates lost 7-5 on Monday when an attempted late-inning comeback fell short. Delwin Young had 3 doubles and Ronnie Cedeno hit a home run to continue his recent surge of hitting. Tuesday was a classic pitcher's duel which saw Paul Mulholland go pitch for pitch with rookie Mike Leake. The game was scoreless until the 8th until Neil Walker delivered a double to plate the game's first run. Brandon Phillips tied it with a homer, but Ryan Domit's 2-out game-winning home run was the difference. On Wednesday, former Pirate Bronson Arroyo pitched into the 8th inning as the Pirates were shut out again 4-0. Wednesday's 8-2 loss to the Reds can only be described as a recurring horror film.
Here's Johnny.
Johnny Cueto once again dismantled the Pirates with 9 strikeouts in 6 innings. Now it's on to the 3-game tilt with the Atlanta Braves. Unfortunately, it wasn't much better than the series with the Reds. On Friday, the Pirates lost 7-3. Neil Walker hit 2 doubles, but Zach Duke got hit hard early on and the Pirates' offense never recovered. Saturday's game was close for most of the game, but the Braves finally prevailed 6-3. Brian Burris not only pitched fairly well for 6 innings, but he hit a 2-run triple as well. It was the first Pirates triple from a pitcher in 6 years. However, mistakes and missed opportunities cost the Pirates this game. In the first inning, the Pirates drew back-to-back walks, but John Russell decided to have Andy LaRoche bunt the runners over. Garrett Jones struck out and Ryan Domit hit weakly to second, which ended the threat. I don't care how bad your offense is. I absolutely hate seeing bunts in the first inning of the game. Your top 3 hitters are supposed to be your best guys. Try to let them get some hits and not sacrifice outs when you have 8 innings left to go. Catcher Ryan Domit also had a terrible game. He was picked off of second base in the 6th inning after advancing there in a wild pitch. Seriously, what the heck is Ryan Domit thinking there? In the next inning, he allowed 2 passed balls to move a runner from first to third without the Braves having to sacrifice him over. Then Javier Lopez hit the batter. The next man up hit a sac fly to score the winning run. These continual mistakes are why the Pirates are not a good team. On Sunday, the Pirates made several great defensive plays behind Paul Mulholland, who had escaped numerous jams in 6 innings of work. But in the end, they were undone by Chipper Jones and Jason Hayward. Now it's time for my Bet Against the Pirates update for week number 8. This is a pretty bad week for the Pirates, and that means I turned a pretty good profit. The Pirates went 1-6 this week, and I went 6-1 on my bets. I won 4 moneyline bets and 2 run-line bets. The highlight of the week was the late-inning cover of the run line on Saturday. It was 4-3 in the 8th inning, and I knew the Braves had to score to avoid being burned by the run line. Luckily, Martin Prado hit a 2-run double off of the unhittable Evan Meek, which allowed me to win $20. I won $68.42 this week, which put me well into the black with a $62.09 profit. The road's never good to the Pirates, so it stood to reason that I'd start to see some profit as June approached. There's still 111 games left to go, so anything can happen. What do I think about the Pirates this week? As usual, the Pirates played horrifically on the road and put themselves at 20-31, which is 11 games below 500. The Pirates will need to right the ship as soon as possible to avoid becoming irrelevant, as they've done in almost every summer for the past 17 years. We'll have to do it with the current lineup as well, since it sounds like no minor league help is coming anytime soon. The Pirates are back at home this week with 3 games against the Cubs and 3 games against the Giants. Well, that about does it for this week. Make sure you come back next week for another edition of This Week in Real Pirate Ball. I'm Greg Mercer. Later.